I'm partway through a game of Fortress Europa. This game dates back to about 1980, and I recently picked it up on eBay. It's been a pretty decent buy, I think. Although I found that disappointingly there was one unit missing, so I've kind of fudged up a replacement for now. Trying to do a bit of a job on it later. But I realised that I didn't really have a game in my collection that covered the Allied invasion and campaign through France and into Germany in my collection. I've got games that cover parts of campaigns but not the whole thing, and saw this on eBay. I thought it might be fun. It's generally regarded as a sister game to another Avalon Hill title from this one's probably from the late 70s, called the Russian Campaign. And why it's considered as such is it uses much of the same game mechanics. So those familiar with Russian Campaign will know that there's like a two impulse movement and combat for each turn, and that's replicated in Fortress Europa. It has here set up areas for the Germans. So that's the 15th Army's area, 7th Army is all around here. In my particular game, I landed in Brittany, but I've spent most of the subsequent part of the game bottled up in there, I think, hopefully about to break up. First Army here, and the 19th down here. And those German units that set up are frozen, so they can't move until the Allies break out, or until we reach, I think it's about September time. The game plays, I think it's generally 4 turns per month, so they're basically weekly turns. Some additional pieces over the Russian campaign: air movement, air combat, I should say, and air capability. You have this sort of range of missions that you can perform. Sorry, there's some. That's from the old, the age of the game, right? So it's got some marks and bits on there. So you've got tactical missions, you've got strategic missions, and the number of tactical units you have affects the combat results column. So generally you shift to the right for one each air unit that you use. You can also strafe, and that affects movement. You can blow up bridges and all sorts of things. And the game also has some fairly straightforward rules to cover the invasion, so it is all upside down. But you can see there, so around the Normandy area, during the first impulse of the invasion, the Allies can land 32 infantry factors, and that can also include the 79th British Armoured Division, which comes on at reduced strength. And then in the second impulse you can bring in another 16 infantry factors and 1 HQ. Supply is critical. It's got some pretty good rules around supply, I think anyway. You have to handle your supply by capturing ports. So here I've captured Brest, and you see that red number there, that's a 12. That's how many units that can be supported. But a touch I like is after the invasion you land a Mulberry. I don't know if you can see that. So that's one of the sort of temporary harbours that was used after D-Day. So key thing is capturing ports, and units have to trace their supply through HQs. I think you have to be 5 hexes away from your HQ that you wish to use and channel your supply through, and then those HQs trace it, a line back to the relevant ports. It's similar for the Germans. They have some variances on it. I think any units in Germany are automatically supplied. Any units in cities are automatically supplied. I'll have to check, that might apply to the Allies as well. Probably does. They have similar rules around the HQs, but also if they're more than, I think, 5 hexes away from an Allied unit, then they're in and can trace a line all the way back to Germany or a friendly city, then they're in supply. So I've played a few turns now. and I'm enjoying it. This is only meant to be a short, quick video. If you see it around on eBay and you haven't got a game on the subject, well, this one might be fun. Although, of course, there's plenty of modern games that cover the subject too.